Hey, everybody. Welcome back to State of the Steelers. Today, we're talking 5 players the Pittsburgh Steelers are considering or should be considering releasing for a little bit more moolah, a little bit more money this upcoming offseason. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to ring that notification bell. That way, you're notified of all our segments and our lives. With that being said, I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers, and welcome to the huddle. So for the first time in a while, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going into the next season with money coming over, with some money in the bank, and they have an opportunity to put a little bit more money there. That way, they can acquire talent, this free agency, um, that could fill quite a bit of holes. And today, we're going to be talking about those possible players who are going to be seeking a home somewhere else for the 2023 season. The first person that we're going to be talking about, and we're going to go in, I guess, smallest amount to largest amount, is wide receiver Gunnar Olszewski, punt returner. When the emergence of Steve Sims, and his ability to punt return and his ability and that of his ball protection skills compared to Gunnar Olszewski, who, coughed up the ball and the game against New England. Um, with what you were able to see out of Sims, not only returning the ball, but also, in the offense, he was able to make plays down the field, catch the ball, get open. The reverses to him, or the jet sweep, so to speak, seem to be more effective with Sims on the field versus Gunnar Olszewski. You're looking at the remaining, wide receiver group. You have the emergence of George Pickens. You have Calvin Austin III coming back, Deontay Johnson, who is currently sending some cryptic tweets, but is still a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers and contracted next year. And so I don't think there's room there for Gunnar Olszewski. And the Steelers, by cutting him, will save $2 million, and his dead cap money is $0.6175 million. So not even a full mil, just slightly over. This is a possibility that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do. The next one that we're going to talk about is cornerback Ahkello Witherspoon. Ahkello Witherspoon, coming into this season, was a guy that we all had high hopes for. We anticipated, he was going to continue on from the prior season with the interceptions that he had and be that potential lockdown cornerback that we were looking for. Unfortunately, when he was healthy, he was getting burned. And then, as Coach Tomlin says, your best, ability is availability. He wasn't there majority of the time. And so I think this is a guy, when you look at what Levi Wallace was able to do, and you have to sign, in my opinion, Cam Sutton, I think Ahkello Witherspoon is the odd man guy out. By cutting him, you save $4 million and only have just slightly less than 1.5 on the dead cap side. And so dead money. In my opinion, I think this is going to be a definite move that's going to happen this offseason. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to re-sign Cam Sutton and then potentially acquire a CB1, whether it's in the draft or out in free agency. Getting some money from these players would help go to picking up a proven cornerback out there in free agency. So the next guy that I'm going to be talking about is going to be Myles Jack. Myles Jack is a guy that came in this season. He was supposed to be the savior in the middle linebacker position, shore it up. And not saying he played poor or any of those things. He was probably average, in my opinion, when he was healthy. The problem was when he was healthy. He was injured majority of the season. He had a groin and an ankle that lingered throughout most of the season that affected his play. You started to see the likes of Robert Spillane taking more snaps than him. And then at the end, Mark Robinson. And so, when you're seeing what those two young men are able to do with Spillane and Robinson, and that's a better option than Bush and Jack, then I think it's time to look in a different direction. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are. They're going to probably acquire somebody, and my hopes is in the free agency. It's been no secret that I'm hoping that the Pittsburgh Steelers re-sign Terrell Edmunds and then bring on his brother Tremaine from Buffalo, who's going in to this offseason as a free agent. I think Tremaine Edmunds alongside Mark Robinson, another year, a big step forward, could be a dynamic duel there in the center, and something that I wouldn't mind seeing in the middle of the defense. If Miles Jack does come back, he's going to get healthier. I think he's a fantastic linebacker when healthy. Um, I don't think he's a bust by any means or a bad pickup. He just didn't play to the standard that I think most majority of fans wanted. The Steelers cut him. They saved $8 million. They do have $3.25 million in dead money. And so it's the largest dead money hit for the Pittsburgh Steelers amongst the 5 players that I've put together that the Pittsburgh Steelers should consider letting go. And next is more than likely going to happen. I highly doubt anybody foresees Mitch Trubisky staying here any longer. Mitch Trubisky came out earlier, a couple days ago, I believe, that he regretted signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers so early in free agency, which he kind of could have taken his time with that situation. And I understand that it was probably an emotional statement based on the outcome of the season and the fact that he got benched for a rookie quarterback. I'm sure, with hindsight being 2020, he probably does wish that he went somewhere else. But you don't make those kind of statements unless you're anticipating going somewhere else. And so I'm hoping the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to deal him in a trade, perhaps maybe another 3rd or 4th round pick, and not have any dead money. But, if the Pittsburgh Steelers were to cut him, they save $8 million and they have $2 million in dead money there. Now, if somebody were to want to, trade for him, they don't want him to hit the market, things of that nature. Then there's that possibility the Steelers can recuperate and not have to pay anything as far as that $2 million dead cap, and so there's dead money there. I think that he's probably good as gone, y'all, and good riddance. I'm not saying go sign Mason Rudolph. He's also a free agent. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers need to go a different route when it comes to the backup quarterback position. I would hope they would, get somebody that has similar skill set, similar talent as Kenny Pickett. That way, if Kenny Pickett were to go down with an injury for a week or two or whatnot, the game plan doesn't have to change completely. You think of what the Ravens are doing with Huntley and Lamar Jackson. Those are guys that utilize their legs quite a bit. And the game plan doesn't have to change tremendously when Lamar's not playing. I would consider, the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably going to do that. So that doesn't leave much room for a Mason Rudolph to be back. Perhaps maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers go out and get Josh Dobbs, a veteran who has been here before and understands the city and what the Pittsburgh Steelers standard and what it is that they want to do as a team and a collective whole moving forward. And so, I would be glad to see number 5 back in the in the quarterback room as a backup quarterback to Kenny Pickett. Now, our biggest deal here is the guy that hasn't played it down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's one William Jackson. If the Steelers cut him, which I anticipate they probably will, or maybe perhaps they'll make a deal with him and he'll take a significant pay cut. But if the Steelers cut him, they'll save $12.75 million with zero dead money if they cut him by June 1. I think that's a no-brainer, guys. He didn't participate at all. The Steelers were able to see a little bit of him in practice. He'd been dealing with a back injury. He's been in IR. The fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't get a chance to see what he was able to do within this defense, I don't think they're going to go out there and pay him $12.75 million. He hasn't been that dynamic CB1 since he left Cincinnati, and sure, Washington had him in a different scheme probably than what he should have been in. However, he still wasn't the best when he was with the Commanders. And so, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, are either going to, redo his contract or, sorry, it didn't work out, buddy, and let him go and save $12.75 million and put that money towards maybe getting a CB1, somebody that's proven without the health injuries or the health concern. But those are my guys that I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers should be considering to let go. Let me know in the comments section, are any of these guys that you think that are going to stay back? Or do you think that these guys are guys that should be considered being cut just for the money services that comes behind it? let me know in the comment section. With that being said, guys, I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers. Hit that like button on your way out. Peace.